Did y'all guess the movie? Because this was one of me and my siblings' favorite movies as a kid. We had a bunch of favorite movies. But in case you didn't know it, this movie was Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. Y'all, this movie came out in the 90s and it is so good. 2 thumbs up, thebomb.com still. One of the things I didn't notice until I was watching it this time is how much of an impact Sister Mary Clarence had on the kids. There's a line in this movie where one of the kids mentions how no one believed in them until she came and believed in them, that they could do anything that they wanted to. And that like stuck with me and I was like, oh my goodness, that's so sweet. And I didn't realize how big of an impact she had and how big an impact just believing in someone, because you know, if you're raised in a way where no one believes you can do anything, or you just don't have privileges that other people do, just having someone believe that you can do whatever you put your mind to means the world. And so I noticed that, and I thought that was so sweet, and that made that movie so much more special to me. So this movie is a classic. It has so many good songs. It has so many like zingers, one-liners. The acting's good, and it's just so good. Like, I personally always enjoyed Sister Act 2 more than the first one, because the first one was kind of like too much in my opinion, because it was about Whoopi Goldberg's character was trying to hide from her abusive boyfriend. And I remember that I watched that when I was younger and I was like, nope, I'm not here for that movie. But the second one had like a more happier vibe to it, and it's just about inspiring, and I feel like that's why I like the second one a lot better, because I feel like watching this I always get inspired, just because I can have moments where I don't feel as confident, I don't feel as driven as I want to be, and when I watch this, and even though it's a movie, I kind of feel like Sister Mary Clarence is like cheering me on and believing in me, and sometimes that's all you need, just someone to believe in you. And just the storyline in this movie too, you had like a few different subplots, but it was like getting to know the students, because they all kind of came from like rough areas and they're at the school, and they just, like, the nuns in the school care so much that they believe that they can start a choir, and they're like, okay, we're gonna do it because y'all believe in us and we're gonna make this happen. And then they do, and the part at the end when they actually win gets me every time. This time around I kind of feel like I was like the 3 nuns who had tissues and were like wiping their eyes crying, because I was like, that to me was the perfect ending for this movie. And it was just so good. Like, there's so many good messages in this movie, and just the music, the vibe, like there's so many so many memories too, like the songs, just everything about this, like even how it starts off with Whoopi Goldberg's character going and doing like a medley of old Motown songs. That's a classic. Like, we can sing that in my family, like Sister Act 2, we know immediately. And the Oh Happy Day, back in the day, we would have that on our iPods or like CDs in the car, and so whenever it would play, we would all try to hit that high note. And I don't think any of us ever did, but you gotta try. Like, are you really listening to the song right if you do not try to hit that high note? Because you have to. It's an unwritten rule. You hear that song, you have to try the high note. But yeah, I just thought the message was really good. I also really liked Lauryn Hill's character, and her relationship with her mom, which I just realized was Cheryl Lee Ralph, who is in Abbott Elementary School now. But yeah, she's a mom in this, and she was like a figure in my mind. And I think the thing I always liked about this movie is how Lauryn Hill's character had the strength to actually stand up to her mom and be like, okay, like, I'm gonna do what I need to do for myself. And I think that was a really strong message as a kid, because a lot of childhood movies, you don't see kids standing up to their parents and saying no. Like, usually if they do, it's for something bad, but this was for something that she wanted to do, that was like school, like it was something big that was very important. And in the end, her mom came around and realized, she was like, I was wrong, like, you were meant to do this. And I always thought that was such a cool message as a kid, and just seeing a girl have the courage to be like, no, I'm gonna go do this. And when she wrote the note and everything, like, one of my favorite scenes too is where Sister Mary Clarence, Whoopi Goldberg's character, goes to Lauryn Hill's apartment, and she's basically like, hey, she's talking to Lauryn Hill's mom, and she's like, hey, your daughter dropped out of the chorus, can you have her come back? And the mom's like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And then she like shuts the door in Mary Clarence's face, and then it goes to a shot of Lauryn Hill, and Lauryn Hill's like mean mugging her, like, and then like she's mean mugging her, and then the mom looks at, like, I always that's like engraved, and I was like, oh, they played it so good. Sister Act 2 held up. It is still thebomb.com. It is very entertaining. The part where they perform at the end, I was up dancing. And yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and the message that it gives, it has still held up, and I think it's still an inspirational movie, and well, it's one of those movies, after you watch it, I'm inspired now. Okay, well, I will see you in the next video. See you guys soon. This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.